Welcome back, everyone. How's it going? So today we're going to take a look at a TOEFL speaking task 1 independent question that appeared earlier this week on the exam. Some adults believe that young people have become excessively dependent on or even addicted to electronic devices and should try to use them less. Do you agree with this point of view? Explain why or why not. So I went ahead and said I agree because of real life experience. Not just young people, but people in general are super addicted to electronic devices. We see this every day, especially when we think about smartphones, but other forms of electronic devices as well, like television, computers, pretty common to see. So here I went ahead and used time. This is a good reason in a lot of TOEFL speaking questions, and it applies in this situation as well. So young people, they waste too much time, they spend too much time on their smartphones or other electronics. So here I'm going to use this as an example, and I'm going to use like someone related to me, like a brother, sister, friend, whatever. And then in the second one, I'm going to mention that young people are not that active, so that's a problem. And again, I'm going to actually use the same example, but I'm going to kind of explain the situation differently this time. So, well, I definitely agree that young people have become excessively dependent on electronic devices and should try to use them less. First of all, so reason one, they spend way too much time on electronics. Like my younger brother, John, is 12 years old and glued to his smartphone. He's always playing games on it, and on average, he'll spend somewhere around 5 hours on it every day, which is why he's suffering from digital eye strain and headaches. So, when you're talking about this problem, this addiction, try to mention like what are the consequences of that. That'll make your response much stronger. And you can see I kind of elaborate on that in detail by using this like which clause and just mentioning explicitly what ends up happening. If he doesn't stop, things will get much worse. On top of that, most young people are not that active. So here, now I'm talking about like the lack of activity in their lives, because when they're addicted to electronics, they don't really want to do anything else for the most part. It's not always true, but this is just an example. Take my brother John as an example again. So if you want to focus on the same person or the same example and just describe a slightly different situation, you could do that too. Just use this formulaic phrase. Take my da-da-da as an example. He's always chatting with his friends for long hours on online messenger apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. Don't be afraid to show off real life examples too at home. Instead, he could be exercising or playing sports or doing something else that's more productive. As a consequence, he suffers a lot from anxiety and depression as well as social isolation, which harms his mental health. That's my view. So again, when you're kind of going through this, like when you're on the second reason and here you're talking about a new problem, right, related to your second reason, kind of think about what the end result will look like. What will be the consequence of all this? And you could see here, I mentioned that, this individual, they're suffering from depression, anxiety, stress, whatever, maybe social isolation since they're, just chit-chatting behind the screen all day. So kind of imagine like what's going to happen in these situations. Even if you're using a fake example, kind of like envision what that final result's going to be. All right, guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.